The massive lion approached Ranger Jabu, who was tied tightly to the acacia tree on the savannah. Jabu had been bound and abandoned by poachers, his body aching and hope nearly lost. The huge lion paused, its amber eyes staring. Jabu recognized the faint scar on its shoulder, a wound he had surgically repaired and stitched months before. This was the same magnificent beast that Jabu had spent an entire day stabilizing after a near-fatal snare injury. A surge of terrifying yet fragile hope coursed through the ranger's exhausted body. He couldn't speak. He could barely move, but his eyes locked onto the lion, silently pleading for a memory to surface, for instinct to be replaced by recognition. The fate of Ranger Jabu, the protector of this vast expanse of low green grass and scattered acacia trees, now rested entirely on the conscience of the very wild he had sworn to save. Did you know that individual lions have unique relationships with the rangers who protect them? Hit the like button if you believe in the bond between man and beast. But Jabu's recognition of his past patient was just the beginning of a terrifying dilemma. The lion was here, but what would it truly do? The next few moments would reveal a truth about the wild that no one could predict. The lion did not immediately attack. Instead, it began a slow, deliberate circle around the bound ranger, its heavy paws barely disturbing the low green grass. Each circuit felt like an eternity to Jabu. The air, already hot and dry, grew heavy with the lion's scent and the primal tension of the encounter. Jabu tried to regulate his ragged breathing, knowing that any sign of panic could trigger the animal's predatory instincts. He recalled the moment of the lion's surgery, the thick, coarse fur beneath his gloved hands, the rhythmic beat of its powerful heart under sedation, and the meticulous stitching of the wound that now marked its shoulder. That memory, vivid and real, was Jabu's only shield. He focused on it, trying to project calm and non-aggression. The lion stopped directly in front of him, its massive head lowered, sniffing the ropes and Jabu's ranger uniform. Its whiskers brushed Jabu's knee. It was a terrifying intimacy, a profound violation of a natural order. Jabu held his breath until his lungs screamed for air, his mind screaming for release. Suddenly, a sound broke the terrible silence, the distant chittering cackle of a clan of hyenas on the move. They were closing fast, drawn by the scent of a vulnerable human and the promise of an easy meal. This was a critical complication. The lion shifted its focus, its ears swiveling toward the approaching menace. The poachers had used a specific complex knot. Jabu knew he needed only a small distraction, a moment of chaos, for a chance to work the knot free. But how could he hope for chaos when a massive lion stood sentinel? Stay tuned to see which animal makes the first move. Will it be the powerful lion or the cunning clan of hyenas? The atmosphere was suffocating, the air thick with the scent of fear and raw power. This delicate balance was about to be broken, forcing the lion to make a choice that would defy all known animal behavior. The clan of hyenas emerged from behind a cluster of acacia trees, a ragged, menacing group of 8. Their hungry eyes immediately fixed on Jabu, but their caution held them back as they registered the imposing presence of the lion. The clan began to fan out, their low, guttural calls testing the boundaries of the scene. They were opportunistic, sensing the unusual standoff and willing to wait for a vulnerability. The lion, however, responded with a chilling display of raw dominance. It let out a single, earth-shaking roar aimed not at Jabu, but directly at the advancing hyenas. The roar was a territorial claim, a declaration that this spot, this strange scenario, was currently its domain. The clan of hyenas flinched, retreating a few meters, but they did not leave. They maintained their low, persistent threat, circling impatiently on the edge of the lion's self-proclaimed perimeter. Jabu, spurred by the lion's unexpected defense, seized the moment. With the lion's gaze fixed on the hyenas, Jabu began to strain subtly against the intricate rope knot binding his wrists to the trunk of the acacia tree. His muscles screamed with the effort, but the adrenaline from the lion's roar gave him inhuman strength. He worked the rope strand by strand, a fraction of an inch at a time, knowing the lion's protective stance was temporary and could pivot into aggression at any second. While a lion's instinct is pure predator, studies show individual bonds and traumatic memories, like the pain of that initial wound, can override hunting drives, replacing them with curiosity or, in rare cases, a protective association. But this lion had a far more immediate problem than an old memory: the relentless persistence of the clan of hyenas. Jabu's shock at the lion's defensive posture fueled his desperate determination. He needed the lion to hold the line. Tell us in the comments, do you think the lion is helping Jabu or just claiming his territory? With the hyenas circling and the mighty lion standing watch, Jabu was running out of time. He needed to be free before the lion's patience ran out, or the clan of hyenas launched a full assault. The solution was moments away. Hidden within the simple frayed strands of rope, Jabu felt a satisfying give in the knot. One more twist, one final excruciating pull, and the tension in the ropes surrounding his left wrist began to loosen. His hand, numb and tingling, slipped partially free. But before he could fully exploit his small victory, the clan of hyenas decided the standoff had lasted long enough. They launched a coordinated, snarling rush, breaking formation and charging toward the ranger. The lion reacted instantly and violently with a thundering charge that seemed to shake the very savannah. The lion met the hyenas halfway. Its focus was not on biting or tearing, but on raw intimidation. A terrifying full-throated roar, and a powerful swipe of its massive paw that did not connect, but sent the clan of hyenas scattering in chaotic fear. The demonstration was enough. The hyenas broke off the attack and fled, disappearing back into the cover of the distant acacia trees. The immediate threat was gone. The lion slowly turned, its heavy, muscled body radiating power, and walked back toward Jabu, who was now frantically working his freed left hand to undo the remaining rope on his right. The lion stopped beside him, its gaze falling upon the ropes, still binding Jabu's body to the tree. Jabu froze, his earlier hope dissolving in sheer, cold terror. This was the moment. The lion lowered its enormous head to the bindings. Jabu braced for the tearing pain of fangs sinking into flesh. But the lion did the unthinkable. With precise, almost gentle care, it grasped the thick sisal rope in its jaws and tore it with a controlled, powerful tug. Then another. The rough strands snapped cleanly, and the remaining rope fell away from Jabu's chest and arms, granting him complete, sudden freedom. Jabu tumbled forward, free but dazed, staring up at the magnificent creature that had just saved his life. If you're captivated by this incredible bond, please subscribe so you don't miss our next story of connection. Jabu was free, but the miracle was not complete. He had his life back, but he was alone deep in the savannah with one final, essential question. What did this extraordinary moment truly mean for humanity's relationship with the wild? The lion made no move to assert dominance or demand recognition. It simply stood over Jabu, who was scrambling to his feet, checking his stiff, rope-burnished wrists. The amber eyes held Jabu's for a long, silent moment, a final, profound acknowledgement that transcended the barriers between species. It was a stare of ancient respect, a debt repaid. And then, without so much as a backward glance, the lion turned and walked deliberately away. It melted into the shimmering heat and the scattered acacia trees, disappearing as suddenly as it had arrived, leaving Jabu entirely alone in the vast, silent savannah. Jabu gathered his wits and his aching body, grabbing the discarded rope as evidence. He knew he had minutes before the poachers might return, or another threat might appear. The protection offered by the lion was a gift, and he could not waste it. He began to run, using the direction in which the lion had forced the clan of hyenas to retreat as his escape route. Knowing it was momentarily clear, he moved toward a familiar ridge where he knew his patrol team would eventually search. The lion didn't save Jabu out of friendship, but out of a memory of compassion, a primal instinct to honor a debt owed to the only human who had ever brought him pain and then healing. This is the quiet, powerful truth of the wild. The life you save may one day save yours. Jabu's ultimate reward was the understanding that compassion is the universal language of the savannah, binding man and nature in ways logic could never explain. This incredible true story reminds us that kindness is the universal language. If Jabu's bravery and the lion's shocking mercy touched your heart, share this video with someone who needs a little hope today. And click on the video on your screen now to see another astonishing tale of courage in the wild.